Hello, viewers. Welcome to the Pageant Podcast. I'm so excited to be back. It's been about 10 months since I shot an episode, and a lot has happened since then. We had our 100th anniversary Miss America competition. Congratulations to Emma Broyles of Alaska for becoming Miss America 2022. She's Alaska's first Miss America. I'm excited about my upcoming guests, which includes several Miss Americas and the Miss America class of 2022. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Jason Robinson. I am an assistant principal, a local director, or former local director. I'm a judge, an author, and host of this podcast. I'm so excited to have my guests today. They are Miss Texas 2022, Averie Bishop, and Miss Michigan 2022, Melissa Beyrand. Welcome, ladies, to my show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
I'm so excited to be talking to you today. Yeah. I have a connection with both of you. Of course, Melissa, I judged you at the Miss Michigan competition.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, gosh.
And Averie, I interviewed you in 2019 when you were first run-up to Chandler Foreman.
You did.
And I did that because I believed in you, and I'm so glad that you are Miss Texas.
Thank you. I appreciate the support. It's so fun being back here.
Yeah. So how has it been since you were crowned, both of you?
It's been a whirlwind, and I'll let Melissa talk more about her experience too, but it certainly has been a crazy 7 days. Lots of interviews, lots of booking and scheduling, lots of meetings, and a lot of meeting people from my community and giving thanks to them for their support.
Okay. Melissa, how has things been going for you?
I definitely will echo Averie there. It has been a whirlwind, that's for sure. It's only been a little over 2 weeks for me since I was crowned, and it feels a little bit like I just got thrown into this whole new world. All very exciting, but trying to do as many events and appearances and everything as I can and really just be out there in the community. So scheduling wise, it's been a little bit, I lost an AirPod. Scheduling wise, it's been a little bit, tough, but working it out and meeting with my board and everything like that has been super helpful. So great start. Very,
very cool. So let's start from the beginning. How did you both start competing? How did you get into the Miss America organization? And Melissa, we'll start with you on this question.
Okay, yeah. So I started actually last August of 2021. That was my first local ever Miss Oakland County. And that was kind of my ticket to Miss Michigan. I had a couple of coworkers actually in the violin group that I play in who were involved in the Miss America organization and both ended up as Miss Michigan, Miss Michigan 2017, and then Miss Michigan, I want to say 1996. And so the two of them were super encouraging along with my boss. We were on a trip last 4th of July weekend to play a gig up in northern Michigan. And I saw the sign up for Miss Oakland County on Facebook, and I was mentioning it in the car, and they said, you know what, you just have to do it. Just try it. You might really like it. You never know. Yeah. And so I signed up, and here I am now, a little over almost a year later. So it's been a whirlwind in that sense as well, that I'm pretty new to the organization, but I've loved every minute of it.
Very cool. What about you, Averie?
I had a similar experience. I was pretty brand new to the system in 2019, so I've been with the Miss Texas organization for 3 years now. But before I decided to enter my first local, I knew of the Miss America Scholarship Organization in middle school and in high school, but I always put off registering and entering the local because I felt that I never saw anybody who looked like me become Miss Texas.
Wow.
So I sort of convinced myself that I wasn't worthy to be a part of the organization, that I wasn't allowed to take space, that I wasn't allowed to just be a part of an incredible opportunity. But I saw Chandler Foreman become Miss Dallas. She posted a photo on Instagram, and that was in 2019, I believe, or 2018 possibly. When I saw that, at that moment, I asked myself, if not me, then who? So I stopped waiting around to enter. I took a risk, and I entered my first local. I won Lufkin, and it has been history ever since.
Very, very cool. And I will add that you are the first Asian American woman to hold
I
the title of Miss
know.
Texas.
I know, that's
Yay.
crazy. I might have even talked to you about that on the first interview we had back in
Right.
2019 after Chandler had won. You were like, what does this mean to you? Like, was it scary entering it, knowing that it was really hard to see yourself in this position? And now, like in 2022, it's so humbling to see like I have made that dream come true with the incredible support of the communities that I come from, of course.
All right. So I'm curious, when you're standing there with your first runner up. So Melissa, you're standing there with Sydney. Averie, you're standing there with Landry Champlin. What is going through your head when it's like the final two? So Averie, I'll start with you this time.
Oh, me? Okay. So there has been a running joke between me and Landry, and we both have the same sort of humor. We both chopped our hair off into a bob leg. And so we were standing together. In the back of my head, I'm thinking just a lot of gratitude to be in the same position that I was 3 years ago. But also, we both were like, battle of the bobs. Because we both had bobs and we were just holding each other. And in my head, I kept thinking, it really came down to the battle of the bobs. But aside from that, in my mind, this was my last year of eligibility. I was just so happy and grateful to be here again for one last joyride, because this year would have truly been my last opportunity, my last chance. So standing beside Landry, I knew that if she would have won, Texas would have been in great hands. So I was just standing there thinking battle of the bobs and gratitude.
Yeah. What about you, Melissa? Do you remember what you were thinking when you were standing there with Sydney?
So honestly, once they got to the top 5 and we were all staying there together, it was kind of like I was in shock. I had no idea how this had happened, how we had so quickly progressed from Miss Oakland County as a local to now Miss Michigan. And now here we are with the top 5. And since I was so new to the organization, I had a great chance to meet all the ladies that week of Miss Michigan. A couple of them I had met briefly before, but we really hadn't gotten a lot of time to talk and get to know each other. And so standing up there with all the top 5, as well as Sydney, it was just so much gratitude, like Averie said, to be up there with them, these amazing, inspiring women who had, I really, truly believe, become my friends over that time that we were together. And then once it got down to Sydney and I, we were both just standing there holding each other. And she told me, she said, you know, I know that you would be a wonderful representative of our state. And I told her the same thing. I know that she would make an amazing Miss Michigan. And we knew similarly that no matter what happened, Michigan would be in great hands. And it was just such an amazing, joyous moment, kind of, when they announced her name. I saw, first of all, like completely black. I was like, no way. Like complete blackout. I had no idea what was going on. And the lights were shining right in my eyes. But then, shortly after that, I saw my family cheering, my boyfriend. I saw my director run up to the front of the stage, and she was jumping up and down. I think she was right next to you guys, next to the judges. She was so thrilled. She hasn't had a Miss Michigan since 2007. So it's been a while, and she was so excited that all the hard work that we put in and did together kind of was coming to fruition in that moment. So it was amazing.
Her last Miss Michigan was actually Kirsten Hagelin, who became Miss America. And I did see her jumping, by the judges. I do want to give a quick shout out to the runners up, because you guys had some great runners up. Landry Champlin, definitely
love
believe in you. You're awesome.
Slay.
Yeah, she's great. Michigan, Kendall Coleman was 4th runner up. I know Vanessa Shambi was like top 10. Laurel Hammis. So to some of the runners ups, keep going, because your day will come. So I want to watch a video of your crowning moments, and then I'll ask you what you were feeling and thinking after your crowning moments. So here's the crowning moment of Miss Texas 2022, Averie Bishop, and Miss Michigan, 2002, Melissa Beyrand.
We are about to announce the first runner-up in our new Miss Texas. The first runner-up will receive a $10,000 scholarship. Our new Miss Texas will receive a $20,000 cash scholarship, a $32,000 in-kind scholarship from Wade College, and she will also receive a $10,000 in-kind scholarship from Dallas Baptist University. I will call the first runner-up first. The first runner-up is South Lake Landry Champlin, and that means your new Miss Texas is Carrollton Averie Bishop.
And our first runner-up, winner of a $4,000 scholarship, is Sydney Tappan.
It was absolutely incredible. I actually just competed in my first local as Miss Oakland County this past August, and so this is all a new experience. It's been an amazing week with all the ladies, and I still can't even believe it. I think I'm in shock. It's unbelievable. It's never like anything I could ever have imagined. I'm so excited, and I'm so grateful to everyone who's helped me, to everyone who's given me guidance and support. I'd be remiss without thanking my family. They've always been there for me every single step of the way and supported me through doing this, and now here we are.
Okay, ladies. So you guys had some amazing reactions to your crowning moments. Who wants to go first? What were you thinking? What were you feeling like after you found out you were Miss Texas and Miss Michigan?
Averie, go ahead.
Even to this day, I don't know how to describe the visceral reaction that I had up there when they first called the first runner up and then my name.
Right.
I really felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. I could not, I mean, you saw my hands visibly shake. I couldn't breathe. I was shouting and screaming over the music, which in my opinion should have been all my exes are from Texas. That should have been the crowning song in my opinion. But in the back of my head, I really wasn't thinking much of anything because it was my heart that took over. I felt like my heart was palpitating so quickly. I felt that my heart was so full. I felt that my heart was so ready to serve. I felt that my heart was ready to give to our communities here in Texas. And at the end of the day, I mentioned this earlier in the podcast, I was truly filled with gratitude and also fear when the confetti cannons went off. Like absolute
I saw that.
fear. Like if you watch through the whole thing, I was having some sort of like on-stage panic attack. Then they brought in the confetti cannons. And I said, really? You had to do that right now?
You were shaking. You started moving. It was like they had to grab you to like crown you and put the sash on.
Mallory was shouting at me very very in a kind manner, of course. She was like, Averie, you have to squat. You have to do it. You have to breathe. And Mallory was bear hugging me, like trying to wrangle me back in because I started crossing the stage to the right, just absolutely out of my mind. And Mallory said, no, ma'am, you can't walk off without the sash and crown just yet. So she roped me back in. Thank goodness for Mallory.
Yeah. What about you, Melissa? What were you thinking and feeling after you found out you were Miss Michigan?
It was a similar moment. Like I said, I kind of just blacked everything out for a second because it didn't feel real. It really felt like this has got to be a dream and I'm going to wake up from it just shortly here. Like the big exciting thing has happened. And then I started to kind of take things in that I was seeing people in the audience. It wasn't even that the house lights went up, but I was just started to be able to focus a little bit more and seeing my family, my friends and everything like that. And then it was a similar thing. So Vivian came on with the crown and she's like, okay, like bend down, whatever. So I got down, but then I was trying to talk and I was turning my head all around. And in the very kindest way possible, she's like, okay, Melissa, like you need to just keep your head still because I can't get the crown to go on your head if you keep moving it back and forth. And then, I mean, honestly, after that first walk, I was just like walking on air. It was like walking on a cloud. I could see everyone so excited, especially like the really important people in my life who were there supporting me. I knew I had lots of friends and family watching the live stream as well. And so just walking along the little runway at the edge of the stage and kind of trying to take it all in as best I could. That's how I remember that moment.
Very, very cool. So at both competitions, you guys were talent winners. So can you tell the Miss America community about your talents? Melissa, you want to go first on this one?
Sure. So my talent, I played the violin, and violin has always been a really important part of my life. I mean, music in general, really. I've always been very musically focused and I have a lot of musical people in my family. But I started the violin when I was 3 years old. And it actually started because I wanted to play the piano, but at 3, your hands are pretty small. And so I couldn't quite reach all of the keys. And so we went into my local music store. My mom explained the situation and they said, well, it's totally fine. She can start playing a different instrument. That way she can still get involved in music and learn how to read music, whatever. And so I started with the violin and I just never changed back to piano. I picked up a couple of lessons later in life, but the violin became my main focus and passion in music. So yeah, getting to share that with the judges and with the audience was so lovely. I adore being on stage, and the talent portion of competition was actually a big part of what inspired me to join the Miss America organization. I love that there is a talent component and I love that we get to perform. And so being able to share that and to just, I don't know, I feel this joy when I go on stage to play. That's unlike anything else, when I'm doing anything else. You really just get to share this music and so many people can relate to it. And it was just a lovely part of competition for me, both in the prelim and final nights.
Very, very cool. And I love both of your talents. Melissa, I loved your outfit. I love like how you were bending over, when you were doing everything. Averie, I love how you were so into character and everything. So yeah, it was good. Let's talk social impact. So Melissa, yours is STEAM, and Averie, yours is digital diversity. Is that correct?
No, so that was an old one. My current one, no, you're fine. So it's unity through diversity, but it's also transitioning more into y'all means all because that was part of my pitch, and everybody really liked that. It stuck more, but it's the same premise. It's an emphasis on diversity and inclusion across Texas.
Excellent. And I'm sure just you being Miss Texas is going to do wonders for the community. I saw you post the other day, representation matters. And I think that's so important. I love it when there's diversity, among title holders, etc.
Yeah, I agree.
Melissa, let's talk about, go ahead. Did you want to say something else?
No, I was agreeing. I was nodding. I was like, yes.
All right. STEAM. Girls in STEAM. Melissa, tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's similar actually with trying to just increase representation for girls and women in the fields of STEM or STEAM. So for those who don't know, STEAM is science, technology, engineering with the inclusion of the arts and then mathematics. And so for me, having the arts as a part of my life and education always been really important. I don't think that I would be where I am today in terms of my more technical science and engineering background without having my musical component. So as Miss Michigan, I'm really working to promote keeping arts programs in our schools, as well as including and integrating arts into traditional STEM learning. There's been proven a lot of benefits for young students, especially to kind of help them stay engaged and balance that creative mindset with the more technical mindset.
And I remember when I was in college at U of M, there weren't many females in engineering classes. So how was that for you? Did it affect you? Did it bother you?
So I'm really lucky that in my discipline of engineering, biomedical engineering that I studied in college, we were the most equitable out of any engineering discipline in the entire university, as well as a lot of the other majors. So I was very lucky that we were almost equally divided between men and women. There obviously were still some incidents, things happen with certain individuals. And you really have to work to overcome some of that adversity with people who still hold a slightly different, less open-minded mindset or thought process. And so that's really what I want to work to develop more, because still in the US, only 13% of the engineering workforce is female. And so it's obviously a problem that still needs to be addressed.
Right. And I will say, that I just got a job as an assistant principal at a school in Sterling Heights. So I definitely plan to book you to come talk to my students. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. So Averie, you graduated from law school recently, right? And passed the bar?
Oh, no, not the bar yet.
Not the bar yet. Okay.
Yet. No, oh my goodness, I have nightmares of that exam. But I did graduate. I was the first in my family to graduate from college, and then the first in my family to graduate from law school. It was a lot of hard work, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I did not think we were gonna make it out in one piece. But fortunately, thanks to the Miss Texas Scholarship Organization, I met so many people who really invested in me with the resources, the time, the energy, the attention that I needed to convince myself that I could do hard things. And we did it back in May.
Right. So aside from school, what do you ladies do for fun? What do you do in your spare time? Melissa, you want to start this one?
Sure. I guess one of the biggest things that I love to do in my spare time is actually water skiing. I am on my college's water ski team, and we actually had the honor of winning the national championship last year. First time ever for our school's history. So it was very exciting. And even more exciting is that one of our Miss America class members, Miss Wisconsin, Grace Sankey, she is also in college water ski. And so we actually met each other.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we met each other last October, and I had just recently won my local title in August. And she'd been competing for a really long time. She was actually Miss Wisconsin's Outstanding Teen. I want to say back in 2017 or something like that. And so we met, we got to talk a little bit, we got connected. And when we got back to our respective places after the national competition, we stayed in touch. Right. And so then we ended up actually being crowned on the same day.
What a coincidence.
So, she also is an engineer and plays the violin. And so we have a lot in common.
Wow.
And, so it's a very small world how things all got interconnected. But anyways, that's what I love to do in my spare time. Get out on the lake, get out on the boat with either my family and friends or my teammates, and just, ski as much as possible.
Very cool. I was on a boat over the weekend. I did the a boat ride from Detroit to Canada.
Okay.
I forgot what it's called. Yeah, I did that over the weekend, so that was fun. But Averie, what do you do for fun?
I do a lot of things in my spare time, but the one that takes the cake is certainly social media. I am pretty much like a full-time content creator. I get to partner with a lot of incredible Fortune 500 companies for paid social media advertisements. I get to expand my pre-law mentorship through all of my social media following. And I get to have a lot of fun and showcase what it really, truly is like to be a state title holder. And before I won Miss Texas, a lot of the content that I made was comedic skits about the struggles I faced in law school. I remember I made this goofy 30-second video that got almost 8 million views. And it was a comedic skit about me telling my mom I wasn't going to go to medical school. So it was me running out of my front door in slow motion with a broomstick, dressed like my mom, shouting at me, and then dressed as my father with his phone and a mustache drawn on my face. But those are the things that I love to do, outside of serving the communities of Texas and giving my school programs, is truly just being very authentic when it comes to creating content on social media.
Yeah, and you have almost 1 million followers, right?
I do. I think we actually crossed the threshold of 1 million this past Saturday.
Whoa, cool.
I know, it's so crazy. I remember making videos in the law school library of eating cantaloupe and just snacks, and people would follow just to I don't know. People are just so invested in very minute everyday things, and you will never know what kind of content will go viral. And I just happened to post a video of me eating cantaloupe during a study break in the law school library, and that is my 5 seconds to fame, was that specific video.
Well, I follow you and I like it because you seem so real and relatable. Like, I think you said something like, okay, this is me with no makeup or something, or, I didn't know I could be a model, like you show so your humanness.
Video. Yeah. I loved being open about that particular one. It was, I was booked for a modeling gig and I had some very severe breakouts. Hormonal acne, rosacea, scarring. I have a big pimple on my forehead right here if I get close enough to the camera. And I was just being very honest about how it has been such a negative impact on my confidence. And at the end of the day, I think many of us will always have to manage insecurities, but we can always find things that we truly love about ourselves. And that will always be the things that we want to highlight and feature and show to people.
Such a beautiful message. I'm going to throw in a question because we're talking about beauty and physicality. How did you guys feel about the removal of the lifestyle and fitness category from the Miss America competition? I don't think you were competing back then, Melissa, when they had it, but
no, I wasn't.
What do you guys think about that?
Avery, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for it. I was not around during the fitness competition. I think they had removed it just before the first year I competed in 2019. So I kind of escaped the swimsuit era. That being said, I did leave Miss Texas with an award for health and lifestyle and wellness, which was a scholarship we applied for by writing an essay and showing some videos of what we do to stay active, healthy, and well. In my opinion, and I think everyone can collectively agree, the job of any state title holder is to be on our feet for a really long time. When it comes to physical well-being, that will look different on every single body. What you truly need to do the job well is just be able to, stay on your feet for a long time, be able to maybe walk long distances for a parade, etc. And so I agree with taking out swimsuit. I definitely have a feeling that they could possibly bring back a fitness and wellness component at some point, only because teen also has fitness and wellness. And it doesn't make sense for both Miss and teen not to have those same categories of competition.
What about you, Melissa? What do you think?
Yeah, so I also wasn't around, obviously, when we had the lifestyle and fitness portion of the competition, but I agree with Avery that I think it's a positive change that it was removed. While I 100% agree that the life of a title holder is really about being active and healthy, just because you have to be able to maintain yourself for some of these longer appearances, that it's very different for every individual person. And I wasn't necessarily a proponent of swimsuit competitions reflecting that for every different individual, every different woman. And so I also think that there's a possibility that we might be seeing some sort of fitness being brought back. I had a really fun time watching the teams compete in their fitness competition at Miss Michigan. I thought it was just honestly adorable. The teams are so cute. But because it's such a really important aspect of the lifestyle of a title holder, I could see that coming back in some way. But overall, I think that this shift into removing the lifestyle and fitness as it was, like as a swimsuit competition, is overall, and it's a net positive. I think it really helps to diversify the people that we have competing, even at the local level, as well as it just makes the whole organization, I feel, a lot more inclusive, that there is not so much of a need to see only one kind of person represented on that stage. We have so many amazing women across the country and young women doing really incredible things. And I would never want that to be a barrier for someone to not want to participate. So I think that overall it's been a positive change for our organization.
That was an excellent response. Excellent. I see why both of you were interview winners, I think. Excellent response. I think I only have two more questions. So you're going to Miss America later this year. What are you looking forward to the most about Miss America? Averie, you want to go this one?
To me, it's all about the people, because when you go home and you're no longer Miss Texas, what do you have, right? You might have a legacy. You might have done a lot of appearances.
Yeah.
You might have had impacted students and children, but you need to be creating long-lasting, genuine, well-connected relationships. Miss America, right at the end of it, we really truly ask, what is the point? What is the point of the crown? What is the point of the sash? What is the point of the organization? The point is to set up women for success, to go out into the world, into their professions, into their households, into their communities with the resources and the network they need to become the greatest potential they see in themselves. And if you are not actively creating those relationships with the title holders in your class, like me and Melissa, I hope we become besties. I hope we have the time of our lives in Dallas when you come here to Texas. And I hope you bring the biggest cowboy hat you possibly have. It's all about becoming close friends and being able to lean on each other in the future when you need to take advantage of, for example, a career or professional opportunity. And also, it's a great opportunity to find bridesmaids for your wedding.
What about you, Melissa? What are you looking forward to the most about Miss America?
So very similarly, I think it's going to be amazing to finally meet all of these women. Obviously, we'll have orientation in Dallas. I can't wait for that. But from what I've heard from our past state title holders, that experience of going to Miss America and truly getting to bond with these women, just like really 24/7, getting to be together during that time is an experience like no other. And especially when we have so many people doing so many different things. I mean, it's really great to see Averie graduating from law school, because that's completely different from the path that I'm pursuing. And I know similarly, there's a lot of other people who are going to be in our Miss America class who are doing very different things. So I love engaging with people who are different, people from different places in the country. I'm really excited about that. And aside from that, I'm just so excited to have this platform. Miss America and the Miss America organization is something that is such a rich part of our country's history. Obviously, it's been around now for over 100 years. So to be a part of that, to get to appear on the Miss America stage and speak about something that I'm passionate about is just such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And Melissa, you want to go to medical school one day, right? And become a doctor?
Yes, that's my plan. So I'm going back to school. I just graduated from undergrad with my degree in biomedical engineering. And I'm going back to get my master's in biomedical engineering. And then after that, that's the path is medical school. So I'm studying for the MCAT right now, which is a very big exam. But thank you. Yeah, once that's out of the way, I think it's all going to get just a little bit more real and more exciting that I'm finally at this point in my academic career that I'm getting closer to my end goal.
Future lawyer and future doctor. Well, she is a lawyer already.
Well, Juris Doctorate. I have to get my license first, which is for the bar exam.
Okay.
Very close though.
My final question is, so clearly you guys both did something correct. You won your state titles. We're starting over the new season. Locals are starting up and everything. What advice would you give to young ladies who are competing for locals who would like to have your job one day? What advice would you give?
I can go real quick. We can find out. For me, my greatest piece of advice is that you don't need a sash and crown to make the impact, right? To do the good work in your communities. In fact, I like to use myself as an example that before I won Miss Texas, I could have easily quit over the past 3 years and have given up. But I continued to impact the communities that I came from. I became the youngest committee member in the city of Dallas for the Anti-Hate and Discrimination Advisory Council. And I create policy recommendations to address racial violence. I continued with my nonprofit here in North Texas by giving first generation college students resources and scholarships. I continue to do good work on social media by promoting small minority-owned businesses. And I did all of that without a state sash and without a state crown. You do not need it.
Right.
You need to have a good heart and a good intention entering the local that you compete
Wow.
in. Because if you lose, you're just going to beat yourself up. And you're going to consider that a part of your value, a part of your future success. You don't need the sash and crown. The sash and crown needs you.
Wow. Amazing. So, Melissa, what advice would you give to girls who are competing in locals and they want to be Miss Michigan?
So Averie's answer is a hard one to follow up because that was incredible. And no, definitely something I believe very firmly as well, that you do not need the sash and crown. I would say my piece of advice would be to be yourself, to be 100% completely, honestly, openly yourself as you're competing. I think a lot of people get wrapped up in what they think that judges want to see or what they think that the organization wants to see and things like that. And I think it's so important to just be completely open about who you are. Every individual person has such unique, amazing qualities that make them special, that make them stand out. And everyone, through hard work and perseverance, has the opportunity to do amazing things with their life. So kind of related, that you don't necessarily need the sash and crown to make an impact. You just have to kind of be your own megaphone and shout from the rooftops who you are, because the chances are there's other people out there who can relate to that, who can relate to you. And just by you being yourself, that kind of representation for other people to see someone who's doing something similar, who looks similar, who has similar interests or passions, that makes all the difference in the world.
Well, you both are amazing young ladies. You are leaders and role models. And I want to thank you for being here with me today. And I wish you the best at Miss America later this year. I'm going to try to come to Miss America. So maybe one day you'll see me in person, at Miss America. I would love to be there. But stay on the line. I'm going to end the show and then I'll talk to you a little afterwards. To the viewers, I hope you enjoyed watching the show. I want to encourage you to click the subscribe button and the notifications bell. So you'll be aware of when I have my shows. I believe my next guest is going to be Miss America 1979, Kylene Barker. So I'm looking forward to talking to her. You can reach me at jasontimothy.robinson@gmail.com. My Cash App is $JTROBINS. And I have a GoFundMe where you can support me. So please support me so I can continue to bring you wonderful shows. But thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the show, our next episode.